Welcome to the Doctorate Diaries brought to you by BioVegan. In this podcast, we dive into the untold story of PhD researchers, the challenges, trumps, and everything in between. I'm excited to have Anusha Ponnusamy, who is currently pursuing in PhD second year in Bio-Nanotechnology and Convergence Engineering in Jeonbuk National University, South Korea. And welcome to the show. Nusha, it's great to have you here. Let's start off with a quick introduction from you. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm very glad to meet you here, and I would say I'm very glad to open up my personal story of my PhD. And this is Anusha Ponasamy. I am from Tanjavur. I did my bachelor's in biomedical engineering, and then after I did my master's in medical nanotechnology. And after that, due to this COVID in 2020 and 2022, I couldn't pursue my PhD at first, and then I moved to but I couldn't resist my PhD ambition or research ambition. Just I moved on into the research fellow scholarship. I got it in Tanjore Medical College, so I just moved on and pursuing as a research fellow, and then I promoted as research assistant, and then I went to Jeonbuk National University, which you read that in my intro. So there I started my PhD career. For the past 2 years I was doing it, and successfully I'm doing it right now. And this is my story, a small description about myself. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And everyone has a story about how they ended up in research. What's yours? Was there a specific moment or experience that sparked your interest in pursuing PhD?
Thanks for asking me this question. Many people want to know that why these people are doing PhD, still why they are studying after still more the master's degree. Just they will end up with the bachelor's, and or else some will go to the extreme to for the masters, and no one will touch that PhD course. But still, I have some short story that because in India, at while I'm studying in my bachelor's degree from 2013 to 17, I was really fond of biomedical engineering. What actually it is, because my staffs they known for the electronics, and they are known for the electrical, and they known for the mechanical sides, but they never know what's biomedical exactly what's, because we had only 8 colleges in Tamil Nadu at that time. Only 60 students each. Each colleges outcomes are there, but they don't have any jobs in India. Still, we want to continue our pursue my career as a master students or something. I don't want to switch my biomedical as a core content, because biomedical is a collaboration between the medical and the engineering. So it having both the ends. You need to study about the medical, and also you need to study about the engineering core. So collaborating on both the two, many people like uh, they ended up only in the IT core, but still I don't want to end up in the IT. I just want to continue, because I know that the electronics, everybody having the engineers from the background of electronics, electrical, mechanical, and they are doing that work. Why I am a biomedical engineer? Why should I end up in IT? So just that one small instinct as a fire bloomed in my mind, and then my story started as a master's in medical nanotechnology. This medical nanotechnology I did in my Sastra University. There it's a central government funded course. You get some stipend too, but
Okay.
that there is a competition there. You need to tie up it. You need to just write up the project proposal, and also you need to write the examination. For this entrance
Okay.
examination will be there, and then my study was moving on from there. But my smart didn't ended up, but that is like I need to go and explore what's there exactly, and I need my next students to know really biomedical have a good future in India as well. So that is
Okay.
how my story started.
Okay. And we hear a lot of technical terms when it comes to research. But if you could explain your research in a sentence or two that anyone could understand, how would you do that?
Okay, simply everyone know that, for simple I'm saying, My career is my research in biomedical or medical, I said in very technical terms. Everybody knows stethoscope, right? Simply everybody knows stethoscope, but it is not designed by the doctor. It is designed by the engineer, right? So this is my part regarding the biomedical engineering. Not much more things needed to describe my department, because everybody know the ECG, the pressure monitoring system, pulse oximeter. COVID showed many things. Nobody cannot forget about those. So that machinery equipments, everything are the research products of one student, which is from my department. So that is how simple I can explain my
Yeah.
department as an outcome of everybody can see, can feel, can touch it. It is not like other department people cannot. If you know, if you go to the boiler station, like another department side, you cannot go inside the industrial side. You need some permissions, you need some anything. But if you say I'm sick, you can touch my very accessibility is very in visually everybody can do access with that. Can It's in real time application. That's
Okay.
how.
Okay. What
Okay.
excites you most about your research?
Time to time it varies, because now the Russia came up with the cancer vaccine that showing up that each person having each cancer type, and each person having different perspectives of cancer. So when I was reading that research, I was very curious to know about how they are specifically differentiating some person to person, and how the vaccine is activating on each person. So
Okay.
each that when I read that part, I was very curious at how they are doing it. And then after moving on into another side, the Japan is creating the man and the dog model. They are collaborating it and for the organ donation. So each time my instinct is like how they are doing, how these people are doing. This is how I exciting myself to keep on to stay in a hot seat, that research is a career, we choose it. We need to be get updated of what's going on here, there, that side. We, we we are not in real in touch with that, but still we are hearing that we need to go on research that, we need to get some knowledge from that. So this is how I get excited each time, not only one day excitement. It's like day to day excitement, day time to time excitement, I say.
Okay. Nice. And what's been one of the biggest surprise or unexpected twist in your PhD journey?
Actually, my journey started with a very big surprise only, I want to say. Because I started my PhD degree in a Bright Korean Scholarship of 2021. There it started, but the thing is, at that time, India didn't opened the shutdown to have the international flight. So that is also one of my tricky thing. So I need to pass over that, but still, as usual, after 2021 only I went there, because I got that scholarship with my proposal. Just because of that, they hold it on, they waited for a semester, and then my journey started. Because this COVID played many games in everybody's life, that no one cannot forget things. But in my life, even for starting my PhD is a very big surprise for me, because I got that scholarship, and because of that I hold it on for one semester. They didn't they just waited for, okay, Anusha will come. That is the
Okay.
very big surprise, that I even didn't expected that, oh, these people will recognize us. Nothing. So that is one big surprise when I started.
Okay.
So even between that COVID struggle, I just started my journey.
Okay.
That's how it.
And what's been the hardest part of your PhD journey? How did you handle it?
Actually, Frank, when you are doing PhD, you are doing it not in your country; it's in another country. So some things will. First, you need to get adapt with that environment. You need to get to know what people they are doing, what exactly our lab members are doing, what new I can do. So these many confusions will be there for 6 months until you start our PhD. So I think the struggle is like adapting myself to that environment at first, and then to learn each and everything, because in Korea you have everything in Korean language. You need to know first Korean language at first, because I am not the K drama lover or K pop sing lover. But still, I ended up in South Korea. I I I seriously don't know anything. I went there. I studied their Korean language because I need to start my daily life, like food, all the accessible things. To everything will be there in Korean.
Uh,
You cannot find out any English words there. So that was my biggest struggles, what I faced at first. And then in my lab, mostly in my lab is 35 members lab. It's a very big lab. Many are from foreigners, because my professor studied in Paris and moved there.
oh,
So my professor is international. He likes international students. So many international students. Still, the Koreans having the all powers, we can say all powers in the sense for booking the laboratory, for booking the characterization techniques. Each one we need to be like in
yeah.
a queue.
Okay.
So that was the big struggle. Not big, but a little, but it's
Okay.
okay. Okay.
Okay. How do you stay motivated through the lows? Is there a specific song or routine that keeps you going?
Yeah, I say my parents are my big motivation. Daily they call, Anusha, what did you do for today? How is your professor? How is your work going on? How is your work going on? Is itself is a very big question mark. They always ask me, because they believed and trusted me that Anusha going for a research work from India to Korea, so she need to finish it, accomplish it. So for which the question itself a big motivation for me personally.
Okay.
That motivates me.
If you could go back to your first year as a PhD student and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Actually, for first years, I would say that first year is a very bit bitter year, I will say, because you will be in some oscillations. For them, I will say that it's first the step. It will be very bitter at that time. Everybody will be scoring high in their personal life, as well as they will be earning more than us. But still, this career after PhD, we will get a good amount. Not only in the payment base, but you get some respect too, even better than them. So just we don't need to go for the oscillatory mind. That is one advice I wanted to give to the first year student, because the first year will be like whether we did right or wrong, whether we stepped into the right path or not. So it is just the oscillation. Please don't give up. We started, we for sure we can.
Indeed. Okay. How do you manage the balance between research and your personal life?
um Actually, I got very recently married. My man is in Germany.
Okay.
So, for which I have to balance both the sides here and my research plan. I think wherever we go, whatever we do, just focus. Career is different from personal thing. Personal, we need to be on hold, but still more our research work is our like ambition. So the balance should be like, the if you get an understandable partner, it will be very very happy that your career will be very in a safer hand, like you and your partner can balance, adjust. So the communication maybe if you have a good communication, you can end up with the right things, I think. So
Okay.
personal life will be little difficult. Even with the parents, you have to convince them your age is getting, so many things, but still the communication can help.
Okay. And what other skills have you developed that you think will be useful in your career, whether inside or outside of academia during this PhD?
At first I build up my communication skills, because I need to talk with my neighbors to get more knowledge from them, because they are my seniors. The postdoctoral will handle some instruments, they need to help you. So I first want to have a good communication with them, have a good friendship with them. So starting with the communication, I had a good friendship with them, so my career was okay. I can say it's really really nice.
Okay.
As of now, at first it was a little bit struggle, but after that, okay, the communication skill helped me. And even we are as a foreigner, we need to have some more interaction with our professor, that I can do it. He will be guiding you that yes, Anusha can do it. So he will be asking other students to help us. So even with our better times, like 2 or 3 a.m., if it goes also, someone will be handling our experiments if you have a better connection with everybody. So
Okay.
I think that's the most important.
Okay. And have you thought about life after PhD? What's your dream job or career path? And how do you see your research impacting that?
mm, For yes, I would say I want to now. I'm having a vision to become a professor, but still, I think if I do my research as a novel things with the ending up in a industrial based, like how can I say, if my product is commercialized, if I get a patent right, so I'll be first going on for the industrial side. If I get a good job and good salary there, I will be settling there. If at all my vision is like educating, keep on educating others, so I'll be preferring for the professor postdoctoral first and then the professor. That's my profession.
Okay. What's one thing you wish you know before starting your PhD?
One thing I know is years will pass, but the trend will never get fade away, because research is like hot topic. You need to get update yourself, which I know that you need to study on study, keep on studying is the one mantra for all the thing. So keep boosting that. We are studying more than everybody, so that's the thing.
If your PhD journey was made into a movie, what would be the title and who could play you?
um, Only I can play my role very better, I feel like that.
Okay.
My title may be PhD.
Okay.
PhD is a very big title.
Okay. What's the best or worst advice you have ever heard during doing a PhD?
To be frank, many people say don't do PhD, it will drag your lifetime things, everything. But that I don't say it is a advice. They are saying their perspective, but I was strong on my perspective that I shouldn't listen on anybody, because if I say please stop this one and do that one, if I say nobody gonna listen, because each one having some perspective that we have to do this as a lifetime goal. So for a single word they will say, so it's not that much mindful for me to have some time to listen it, to apply it. I'm not okay with that, so I didn't listen at all.
Okay. And what's one thing about your research that you wish people outside of academia understood?
Can you come again one time?
What's one thing about your research that you wish people outside of academia understand? Something that could make them appreciate what you're doing.
Okay, you're asking the core content what I'm doing right now, so for which the people is
For
my
example,
work.
if you're telling someone that I'm doing this research, and they should
Okay,
feel like, oh, okay, she's doing such research like that.
okay.
Like,
For which I'm working on cancer treatment, drug delivery. So for everybody know, each one is working on cancer. For me also it's same, but I'm using the nanotechnology. The technology is very new, and the hot one also. I am just gonna using the quantum fused one, like machine learning all tools, but only the academic people can understand what I was saying.
yeah, yeah.
And yes, collaboration of all new
Okay.
technical things.
If you could have any superpower to help with your research, what could it be?
If I have a superpower that I should finish it very quickly, and for writing only it will take a very big long time. So if I have that power to finish it, like today I will finish my work, tomorrow please write and keep it. So the next day I should have the manuscript in my hand to get submitted, to get finished. Everything should be done on the next day itself after I completing my work. So that's the power I need, I think.
Okay. Do your parents understand what you are researching, or do they have their own ideas about it?
Actually, my both of my parents are well educated, and they are the one supporting me, and so far now, because my mom and dad are working on a very hot topic like professor range. They are in communication with them. So my dad in medical college, my mom in arts and science college. So everybody, they know how the professors are. So they are get in touch. So they don't think that Anisha is doing a mistake. They think that she gonna be a future professor like them. So they are seeing the good examples next to them. So for me, it's not that much big, hard for me to explain them. They the one who taught me that you show up that this professor is doing this, that professor publishing a paper. So each and every time they motivate me more than I motivate myself. So for me, it's I think it's a right path with the right peoples, everything.
Nice. What's one thing your guide has taught you that you have carried with your PhD?
Actually, my guide taught me one big thing, that every time wherever you go, just hold upon a motivating mind. uh, Wherever you go, you have to motivate yourself to adapt with that environment and keep on working. His only mantra is just keep on working, one day it will get succeed. So because we people like in nanotechnology do one day and get fed up with that, okay, I didn't get my result. So next day we will come and professor say yes or no is all, both the answers are really really okay with the research, but my professor will say if it will be yes, it will be more convincing to have a good paper to get a patent or all the things. So he will be saying just keep try one more time with another material. Just he will be engaging all the things like, mm, buying, purchasing the chemicals, many things he will do. But the thing is he need just the result. So for some it is okay, for some it is not, but for me I just take it up in a positive way. So, okay, at least he is supporting me and asking me the things. So giver always ask for the taking up anything. So I'm just okay with that.
Okay. So we are ending this questions, and we have another session called Researcher's Choice. So
Okay.
it's like a rapid fire session. I'll
Okay.
ask this or that, which is related to research and lab. So you have to tell which you choose.
Okay.
Okay. So coffee or tea for staying awake in the lab.
Coffee.
Early morning or late night work.
Late night work.
Weekend off or lab with never ends.
Lab with never end.
Plan every detail or go with the flow.
Plan every details.
More experiment or more writing.
More writing.
Field work or lab work.
Lab work.
Wet lab or dry lab.
Wet lab.
Data analysis or literature review.
Data analysis.
What's your favorite research tool or equipment?
Characterization tools.
What's your least favorite research tool or equipment?
Mm. As of I know, I use many.
Okay. And what's your favorite research technique or method?
failures.
Any
Many
any any methods like uh, PCR or some isolation, protein works? What is the research technique you like working on?
uh, animal studies with the
Okay,
mice models.
okay. And the least favorite research method?
Least favorite is like working on in fumigating cabinet.
Okay. Do you prefer to work in the wet lab or dry lab?
Wet lab.
What's the most productive habit you have developed during your PhD?
Predictive habit is don't say no in the mid.
What's the most exciting development in your field right now?
Come again one more time.
What's the most exciting development in your field right now in nanotechnology?
Quantum science,
Okay.
machine learning, artificial intelligence, collaborating with those.
Okay. Who is your favorite mentor or role model in the world of research?
As of now, I don't have such personals to
Uh,
keep it in to say.
okay. What's your favorite thing about being a researcher?
Favorite thing in sense which kind of favorite thing you are asking about?
Like
For
you
example,
now you're a researcher and
okay.
sometimes you feel special that I'm doing something which no one knows as such. So being a PhD researcher, what do you feel special? Is there anything like that?
Yeah, I feel like no one is preferring this side after engineering still like me. Because while I'm doing my master's itself, only three we did. And after PhD, only me is doing PhD in 60 members. So I feel special in that way.
Okay. Being a professor or industry?
Professor.
Okay. What's one research tool you wish existed?
One research tool still be existing.
It is not available, but you wish it could be there.
Writing tools.
If you could change one thing about your research journey now, what could it be?
Now I cannot change anything, so I'm
Okay.
back in that.
Okay. So thank you so much. So we are winding up the formal questions and research choice, everything.
Okay.
And thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey with us. And it's been a pleasure to hear about your experience and how your parents are supporting and how strong you are in your goal, like the path you have chosen. So everything was very inspiring. And I'm sure our listeners who sees this video will also find it both inspiring and relatable. So before we wrap this session, I like you would nominate any of your fellow researchers or postdoc or people in science who you feel that their journey also should be shared to others. So
Um,
I want you to nominate one of them.
okay, thanks for a very big session that which I wanted to remind myself that okay, Anisha, I want to keep going. So this is like that session for me, and thank you so much for. I think somebody nominated me. I think maybe not. So I feel like very special today to convey my news also. Maybe it may be inspiring to many people. So please keep on going is my one advice to every researchers. And I would like to share my friend's story to be get delivered to everybody. Um, Dr. Luyen, she is from Vietnam, but I
Okay.
don't know you people will consider her because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she journey also like it's typically a different journey. She get into South Korea, but she done her postdoc also. Until postdoc she been there for
Okay.
more years in couple of years in South Korea. So she explored her life very nicely in both in research as well as personal life as well as in everything. So I just need her to disclose her
Story.
inspiring story with you all.
Yeah, like we will be very happy and we will contact her. And I also like to specially invite her from your side also. We will contact from our side. And thanks for helping us, like bringing this more amazing stories. And it's Kavi Darshini from the team BioVegan. She is the one who nominated you and she gave that her story should be listened. Okay.
Okay.
And I could like to ask that how does it feel to share your research journey on this podcast? Because I think from BioVegan or when you see YouTube, there is not much details about the PhD researchers, their journey, and themselves. They are expressing what they feel as such. So this is the first initiative like this, something like this. So how do you feel and how was the session? Is there anything we have to change?
Thanks for asking me this, and I'm really appreciate you that you said that it is just initiative starting one. So for you also, I'm cheering that everything started like from the zero. It should start from the zero, not from the 100. So you started from the zero. Now you've been in the mid, so still you have to go. So for which, like one thing I want to say that one day everything will be seen by everybody and it will be recognized by all and it will be remembered by everybody also. So recognized, remembered, it will be happening very soon. And my best wishes for BioVegan. And Kavidarshini is the one who nominated me, and thanks for my special thanks to her. And she the one who know about half of the part and partial of me. So and I'm specially want to say that your initiative is a very good one and it is appreciable and it will be noticed by everybody. So for sure, and I will also be supporting one for you because I too had a good option for you to explore my stories with you. So don't feel that we are in the mid of the journey from the zero in the mid. So still there are more ways to go, for which I can be helpful. So many people will come and help you. So my best wishes. Soon 100 will be there.
Thank you so much. Like it was wonderful, and thank you for boosting us also. And share. We'll be uploading this podcast in the YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, you asked me what you want to change. Don't change anything. Just be. Someday it will be recognized. So everything was really nice, and I feel very happy with this. So if it beyond this or if you do any background changes or much more like that, it will be artificial. So this is how we are. This is how we are showing up. The people will accept how the way we are, what we are. So one day it will be working for sure. And my best wishes too. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much for giving us amazing experience you had, motivation, and finally you're also lending your hands to help us. So we'll be very grateful. And thank you so much for this session. Thank you.
Okay, nice, nice. Thank you.
And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave the review, and share this podcast with someone who needs little inspiration. And follow us on the social media handles like Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube to know more updates from BioVegan. Also, stay curious, stay motivated, and remember you are never alone on this research journey. So, see you on the next episode of Doctor Diaries powered by BioVegan.